Welcome to Rally Hunt Club. In this webisode, we're going to talk about reserving stands and our sign-in board process. Now, a few weeks ago, I've gotten some requests from 3 different people asking me how we do our hunting zones, our blocks, our tower stands, or stand locations, or however you call it in your hunting club. And I correspond back and forth with those people and figured out how they did it and told them how we did it. And I said, hey, that might be a good webisode to share with you guys. So anyway, a club summary of, we've got like close to 1,700 acres and we're going to have 8 members this year. Now, we divide that up into about 30 zones. Now, one thing to know about our club is everybody pays money into the system. We have a substantial budget for planting and corn and other tower stands and other things. Now, what that does is that allows us to spread out all the resources evenly across all 1,700 acres. So there's not 2 or 3 good honey hole spots and all the others not good spots. I strongly believe you can hunt just about any zone, 90% of our zones in our hunting club, at the right time in November, and you can kill a big buck. There's not really a bad stand location on our club. With that said, we have an extensive process of how we like to interview future club members, potential club members. Now, 2 years ago I became president, and so I started this process. In the past, we've had people that didn't mesh with how we were, and they caused conflicts, and it's like a soap opera. And nobody wants to spend that kind of money, nor spend those days in the woods, you know, seeing what the kind of soap opera, what kind of drama the hunting club. So what we found out is we try to interview these people and see if they're like us. Well, currently all 8 of these members are white-collar, business owner type people. So this is the kind of people we try to attract when we bring in new members. And it seems to work pretty well for us. And not saying that, you know, somebody working on a car or anything like that. I'm just saying similar people have similar interests, seem to get along a little bit easier, and that seems to work best. And I would recommend, if you're doing your hunting club or you're hunting with people, try to get with people that share the same interests. You know, whether it's QDM or whether it's just browning down. If you share the same interest, that's where you should be. Now, with that said, we can be a competitive group, but not competitive to where, you know, we're secretly trying to plot against each other. Now, during bow season, it's a little bit more competitive because everybody has their own bow stands and their own locations. Now, during rifle season, we've got close to 15 to 18 different tower stands on food plots and feeders, and pretty much it's first come, first serve, and you hunt wherever you want to hunt. Now, there is some good spots. People try to get to the club and reserve those zones quicker and stuff like that, but that's just how human nature is going to be. Now, like I said earlier, we've got 30 zones. We got our land divided up into 30 zones. I'm showing you a map of our zones right now. Okay. Now, it's first come, first serve, and we have what they call a virtual sign-in board. It's not really feasible for us to have a physical sign-in board, peg board, whatever you want to call it, where you've got a map and you go up there and you stick your pin in and so on like that, because we've got close to 16 different gates. And because of that, and our club stretches like 3 miles. And because of that, it would be a hassle to drive to one end of the club and sign in, then drive to the other end, and then when you get through, go over there and sign out. So me being a computer developer, I came up with a text messaging system where you can send in some commands and it would sign you up, sign you out, or you could check to see who's currently signed in and what zones they have. Now, we started using this system 2 years, and we've used it for 2 years, and it works really well. Well, back then, not everybody had smartphones. Now, 6 of our 8 members have smartphones, and so I thought it'd be cool to write a web base, one that would run on the smartphones, meaning your iPhone or your Android. So I wrote that this year. So we're going to use a combination of both. They both hit the same server and do the same function. And I'm going to go over those. Some of the rules are, you can sign in a zone for 24 hours, but you have to sign out by 9 p.m., and you can sign back in at 9:01. Now, if you don't sign out by 9:30, Chuck and I get a text message saying, hey, so-and-so didn't sign out. This is a safety precaution. If you forget to sign out, you know, at 9 o'clock, you start getting text messages telling you, hey, sign out, sign out. You get one for every 10 minutes. So if you hadn't signed out by 9:30 and we get a text message, we pick up the phone and see what's going on, whether you're hurt or your phone's not working or whatever. It's just a safety precaution that I really, really like, because we don't have to be on the lease. I know we can be 3 hours away and we still can be concerned and pay attention to who's hunting and have a safety. It's just good safety. Now I went over the sign-in board. Let me show you some screenshots. I'm trying not to get too nerdy on this, and let's just show you how it works, and so you can get a good idea for it. So stay tuned and let's see these screenshots. Actually, I'm going to stick the video camera over my shoulder and I'm going to run through my iPhone and show you how these work. Alright, I'm going to go over the text messaging part. So basically, we have a text number provided by this company. It's actually free. We have to look at their ads in return, and that's our service. So we have a phone number and we send text messages to. Now we have a, I don't want to get too techy, but we have a hunting club designator, okay, which is PHC09, and then we can say I want to sign in with an I, and then I want to choose zone 1. So it's PHC09 space I space Z1, and so we send that to our server, okay, and if all works well, they're going to come back and say I can sign in. Alright, it's actually reserved by another person, okay, somebody actually is using it. So I can go PHC09 and I can do A, just meaning list all, and it'll show me all the people that's currently signed in. Okay, me and my guests. Okay, so actually I was running some tests earlier. So if I wanted to go PHC09 I zone 12, it's going to unreserve me from one zone and add me to another zone. Basically going to sign me up. Okay, see, it actually says I changed. Now I just showed you how you can do all, look at everybody, and this one here, the A, and this is the sign in. So if you wanted to sign out, you do the same thing, except you do it O, and you wouldn't have to do your zone. It's going to sign you out. Okay, and you can do guest and all that. Of course, I'm not trying to say it's software, I'm just trying to show you how it works for us. Okay, alright. Alright, let me go over the web base. So basically I have an icon here which is going to open up the Safari browser. Okay, it's going to load me up. I have reserve, unreserved zone, current reserve zones, user setting, which I can change my password, and of course a log out. Okay, a reserve zone is a lot easier than the text messaging, because see, you come in here and you can just choose which zone you want, Z2, and you can type in the guest name if you wanted to and submit it, and it's going to reserve your zone. Okay, now my dad's signed in here and I'm signed in here, so if I wanted to sign my dad out, I go to unreserved zone and I just click this button and it logs me out, and I click this button again and I'm logged out again. Let me log back in one time. I'm going to put dad in again too. Okay, and I'm going to put me right next to him. Okay, also what's nice is I have a view map. There's all the current zones, so I can zoom in and I can surf around on our site and I can see the zones. So me and dad are in this zone and this zone. Okay, now the other feature is and go back to the home. The other feature is I can log right here and I can see current reserve zones of other members and also myself. Okay, there I'm signed in, blah blah blah. Now I can view on the map, and actually the two zones that we're in will show up. And like I said, this is a little bit easier. You don't have to remember those commands that I showed you in the text messaging service. But this is how we do our sign-in board. So I hope this was informative and not boring. I know I actually find it pretty cool, because I had 3 guys that wanted to know how we ran our club when it comes to checking out stands and zones. So I corresponded back and forth with them a few times, and it dawned on me, let me show you guys how we do that, because this is probably one of the hardest areas in a hunting club. It's probably one of the most common areas where there's arguments and fights and clashes among, I want to hunt that spot, no, and all that. So I just wanted to show you what works for our club. And since this is Reality Hunt Club, I wanted to show you the reality, and it really works really well. I haven't had to get on, as president, I hadn't had to get on anybody the last 2 years, and I hope with a good group of guys, I think that's going to continue. So if you got any comments, if you got any suggestions on you know, wanting to know how we do something in our club, not saying that we know how to do it right, just showing you what works best for us, you can email me toxygivens@gmail.com, and I have it on the screen right now, or you can just leave comments in our videos. We get a hold of that, and we love interacting with you guys, and I like to do a lot more of these because something I look as being trivial, it might actually help one of you guys out in your club, or if you're starting a club or so on. So thanks for watching Reality Hunt Club. We got more episodes coming up. Stay tuned.